Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Wishwell Farms. Let's head out to the greenhouses and do our morning checks. Got some decent color to pick today. First thing every morning is to check the water. And my meter yesterday went bad. Fortunately, I had another one. Got it all calibrated. I can see the pH is a little bit high. It was reading really low yesterday, so I backed off the acid a little bit. It looks like I did a little too much. Or 6.2, and that is too high. And EC is currently 1.9, which is about right for a hot sunny day. But today's going to be a little cloudy and overcast, so I'll probably turn that back up to about 2.2 or 2.3, depending on what the EC is in the leachate, which we're going to check next. First, we got to get the feed out of here. So this is an extra dripper, just so I can. No, don't drink that. About 60 ounces per plant yesterday, so that means 120 ounces per bucket. So I just toss that outside. And here's our leach. Looks like they got a little too much in here. About 40 ounces. .47, not bad in here. I think the other greenhouse is a bit closer to 3. Let's go check. I'm up here in greenhouse number 2, the long house, and we're definitely getting some good color in here. These are looking great and much larger in size too. Wow, these are beautiful. They're still not in full production, but get out of the frame. What are you doing? But they're definitely getting close. This middle row is looking really nice. EC in this greenhouse, 3.6, almost a little high. And only 10 ounces of leachate. So it's kind of a balancing act. You know, a greenhouse that's just getting started in harvest versus greenhouse number 1 down here that has been picked for going on 3 weeks now, almost a month. You know, they're in different stages of the growth cycle. So, you know, I can irrigate different amounts, but they're all getting fed the same thing. So yeah, definitely a balancing act and not always easy to do. And our final greenhouse to check the water in. Our small house. This is our third planting. And you know, you can see they're much shorter, but definitely has a nice fruit set. And it's crowded down this row. Oh no, no leach. That is not good. So yeah, having no leach means the EC is going to be sky high. I turned this water way up yesterday, so not sure what's going on. I think it takes a little time for the water to get down here, and by the time it starts coming out the drippers, it's already halfway through its cycle. And this greenhouse is a little bit on a slope, so it doesn't always irrigate. The lines drain out after every irrigation cycle, so it takes time to fill all the lines back up. I think that's part of the problem. So I have to turn the time, the cycle time, the irrigation time way up in this greenhouse, and I did that yesterday, but apparently it wasn't enough. So I'm gonna go turn it on and come in here and check a few of these drippers right here that's in the bucket that's catching the leach to make sure they are working and not plugged up. Hopefully there's no other problems in here. Just turn on the irrigation to the little house. Let's go make sure those drippers are flowing. All right, everything seems to be flowing. Yeah, that's perfect. I did notice it took about 20 seconds for the water to actually get here and start dripping. So I guess I just need to turn the irrigation cycle up a little bit, because we definitely need some leach in that catch tray. I mean, these plants are at a critical stage right now, you know, loading up with fruit. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4th clusters flowered out, and about half sized up on the green fruit on the first cluster. So we definitely need to figure out what's going on in here and make sure they're getting the water they need. You know, part of it could just be that I had the sides rolled up pretty high yesterday because it was 90 degrees out, and the plants just needed tons of water. So I'm just going to turn it up a little bit today, and hopefully they'll get caught up and be okay. I just realized that I am almost out of tomato boxes for packing today. I only got 1 stack here, and I'm going to need to go down the road to the other farm where I have about 3 skids, probably 300 or 400 boxes, shoot, maybe 500 boxes. And I'm going to need to bring some more down here so we can have plenty of boxes for packing. Because we're starting to get pretty filled up in our cooler, which is what I'm glad to see. So these are still some smaller picks from last week. Then you can see here, I know it's kind of dark in here, I forgot to turn the other light on. Starting to get a little bit bigger pick there. And then yesterday, or Monday, 2 days ago, was a decent pick, 36 boxes, and a really nice pick of grape tomatoes. Look fantastic. But as soon as this longhouse kicks in, we should start getting much larger picks, hopefully closer to 100 boxes per pick. So here's our 5 Isuzu box trucks that we use for farmers markets. We only went to 2 markets last week. These first 2 trucks, we're adding Powell this week and Dublin. So I'm going to be going through the totes in the back of these trucks. I'll show you what all is in there later on when I have them out, but we need to clean up the tablecloths, make sure they have all their goodies that they need to run a farmer's market. And I know I have the tents out of this truck currently. They're sitting down over here. I have at least 3 tents with a small tear in them that I need to mend. And we use this HH66 vinyl cement for mending our pop-up tents. Works really good. So yeah, still got a lot of work to do in here to get ready for this Saturday, Memorial Weekend, farmers markets. It's going to be a big one. So I'm currently down here at our old dairy facilities. There's our silos. This was our old loose hay loft. One of our feed bunks. This is the holding pen, which is now full of tanks for sap for our maple syrup production. So we had a high production side and a low production side, and now everything's just used for storage. So we sold our dairy herd back in 2001. We had about 100 milking Holsteins, 80 to 100, and I've been vegetable farming full-time ever since. There's my original forklift. Oh my goodness, I haven't even seen this thing in forever. That was my original forklift on the farm almost 20 years ago. I should have scrapped it when scrap prices were high. Anyway, this is where I store some of my tomato boxes when we run out of room at the vegetable farm here in the north bay of the freestall barn. Tomato steaks, extra perlite. Here's a partial stack of tomato boxes, another partial stack, and then I got 2 more full stacks and all kinds of goodies back in there. I got old irrigation pumps, cultivation tools, transplanters, lots of T-post and stakes for when we had a high tunnel. I'm gonna need a couple weeks to clean up and organize all this stuff. It's probably gonna not happen until fall. All right, I'm just gonna take the rest of this pallet over. It's probably only 50 or 60 boxes, but that'll be enough to get us through today. I brought me a box truck over to make it easier to transport boxes. Get some fresh air inside this grape house. I'm sure it's going to be humid, and we don't want wet fruit to pick. I'm sure they're going to be loaded again today. I hate picking these things. I think everybody hates picking them, but man, oh man, do the customers love them. Thought I'd come out here and give you a quick update on sweet corn planting number 1. Looks like it's just a hair over a foot tall, maybe 12, 13, 14 inches tall, looking really nice. as you can see, there are some weeds out here. However, I just sprayed them 2 days ago, and I can already see the weeds are a lighter color than the corn, so they're dying. I use 3/4 of an ounce of Impact, 1 pint of atrazine, and a gallon of MSO, methylated seed oil. And that combination does a really good job of cleaning up the fields. And you can spray it right over the top of the corn. It's completely safe and doesn't harm the corn at all. One thing I see down here that I'm not sure it's going to do a good job on is nut sage. We have yellow nut sage out here. I remember fighting that in my strawberry patch for years. So that is yet to be determined whether it will tackle yellow nut sage. I have a feeling that it won't, but the nut sage only grows like a foot and a half tall. So yeah, it'll get your feet wet while you're picking corn, but it doesn't really compete with the corn that much, at least in my experience. All this grass out here should be killed as well. It's not real bad. There's a few spots where I can see some grass. If that does not die from using the Impact and atrazine, I'll go over it one more time when the corn's about thigh to waist high, and I'll put my drops on, and I'll add Primero, which is the same, I think it's a generic version of Accent. Primero, yeah, I think that's what it is. And that'll take care of all the grass issues. I used to always mix it with Impact or Lotus. A lot of times I'll use 3 ounces of Lotus instead of 3/4 of an ounce of Impact. Lotus and Impact just have a different mode of action. Lotus is 3 ounces to the acre versus 3/4 of an ounce of Impact. So it's a lot more product, but probably pretty similar in price, I forget. I use Impact more often than Lotus, but they both do a great job and usually will take care of the grass. But this corn is ready to be side dressed with 28% nitrogen. We put down 20 gallons to the acre right before I planted the corn, and 3, 4, 5 gallons went 2 by 2 of the seed furrow when I planted the corn, and now I'm going to add another 20 gallons side dressed down the center of the row, well, closer to the corn stalks, but basically down the center of the row. And we want to do that sometime this week because it needs it. And it's going to rain here in a couple days, I think, so hoping to get that on yet today or maybe tomorrow. And that will be the last thing I really need to do to this sweet corn, other than spray the silks when it silks out, probably sometime next month, to make sure we don't have any corn earworms, European corn borer, all that good stuff in our corn. Not too shabby of a pick today. 60 cases. We're definitely getting more, but the grapes are off a little bit. Looks like only 10 flats, so only 120 pints. Well, here's our candy onions that need planted. I've had them in here for 2 weeks. They're already starting to like grow a little bit, and I gotta be careful that they don't mold on the bottom. And I doubt we're gonna get to them this week. So first of next week, we'll be working on those when we get more hands here on the farm to help. Oh boy, do we have something exciting happening right now. My brother just called me from the field. He's out planting beans in our 12-row Kinsey with the 4x4 Case International, and he's stuck. He's in one of the fields we call the muck field because it lays kind of wet and has really black soil. I actually can see him. I can just barely see him way off at a distance out there. He thinks it's only going to take the 4230 to pull him out. He's almost out going backwards. So luckily he caught it before he got in too deep and sunk it completely. So we're gonna unhook the 4230 from this auger, grab some toe straps, and let's go see if we can get them pulled out. All right, here's the toe straps. If you're thinking to yourself, how is this little tractor gonna pull out a big 4x4 tractor and a 12-row planter? I don't know. It's our only option right now. If you look inside our machinery shed, you probably can't see that it's dark. The only thing left in here is the combine. Our other International with the duals on it is out drilling beans. So this is all we got right now. I just realized this is not a toe strap, that is a ratchet strap. That ain't gonna work. I think we got a bigger toe strap in here somewhere. And a nice big logging chain. We better take both just to be on the safe side. So we'll take that and one of these big chains. All right. Let's go see if we can pull this beast out. Oh my gosh. Wow. It's a lot worse than I expected.
planted up to that spot and then backed up.
Oh, okay.
So I did that. I'm like, oh, it'll be fine.
So you knew about this spot.
Yeah.
You just didn't know you'd sink so quick.
Yeah, this time it was a little wetter than normal.
Well, fortunately, he got the planter up before the planter got in the mud.
I don't know if this guy will get her out or not.
Yeah, I don't have very high hopes for this. Oh my gosh. There ain't no way. It's soft right here where I'm standing. I can't believe he drove into this. Oh my gosh. Wow. I don't know what we're gonna do if this tractor doesn't gotta pull it out. I have very low expectations. That's far worse than I thought. Well, the only thing we can do is try. All right, so we're all hooked up here.
I'll show from over here. So
wrapped around the main part of the frame there. And we're pretty sure this is not going to work, but he has a plan B.
The plan B is this is actually compressed in right now.
Yeah, you got it brought together.
So this actually opens up about maybe 7 or 8 feet. So then I would open it up, drop the unit down, and then
use the hydraulics.
Use the hydraulics on that to suck it in while I'm spinning tires and you're locked in on the brakes.
Right,
That's
right.
plan B. Plan C is we'll get another tractor.
Okay.
Along with that.
And we just found out that Jake is finishing up drilling beans with the what size is that, International?
Oh, yeah. I have no idea.
7120. So Jake's just about finished up drilling beans with the 7120. So here in a minute, when I don't get this out, he'll be down here with the tractor with the duals, and hopefully in conjunction with that we can get her out.
That's a no-go.
No, that didn't work.
No.
Time for plan B. All right, he's extending the planter out now. Now I'm gonna pull forward, get some tension on the strap, put the brakes on, and then he's gonna try to close up the hydraulics, and hopefully that will pull the tractor back.
So there goes Uncle Jason pulling. Here goes Daddy. He's gonna pull those hydraulics. Daddy's trying to pull it. Oh. Yeah. Do you see it moving a tiny bit? I think it might be working. It might be working. Oh.
It's actually holding back a little bit? Oh.
It is.
This might actually work. I didn't think he was even moving. Look, he's almost out. All right, I'm gonna pull the tractor forward and do this one more time. All right, second attempt at closing up the hydraulics here, bringing the tractor back. I think he's gonna get out. He's got it. We might have to do this one more time. Yep. It worked. We just got out. is some muck.
Got a nice pond right there.
Yeah. Woo! Glad we got that out. Just another day on the farm. Just so you know, it's not too wet out here to plant. This field is bone dry just like all the other fields. Just happens to be one wet spot right there. And we should not have been that close to it. Well, definitely not your typical day on the farm, but that was something different and exciting. Glad we got her pulled out. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you all again real soon down the farm.